And that's for the piggies in every US city thinking a seat in the back row is Porsche because of European history. They miss seeing the monocle though, so I be in the front row on days I'm making dough. All alone, in the zone, on the phone, until the trailers go off the screen, along with all those production companies that never did a thing for me.
I just don't understand my generation at this point. For the second time in the same box office weekend, I've now witnessed, as much as I could do to falling asleep in a combination of protest and sheer boredom, another loose remake that blatantly points out its influences in an effort to be original, but only achieving film school student status by the end of the presentation, as Kiro Solov's Tarantino's Snyder rip They Will Kill You did a couple of weeks before. Hunting Matthew Nichols sells itself early as a legit documentary, then quickly evolves into an obvious mockumentary, until it's dropped in the script that Matthew and Justin, the linchpins of sympathy for the film, have been missing since the drop of 2001's cult classic The Blair Witch Project. The whole thing then plays out as a shoddy mockumentary that ends with its own rendition of Blair Witch, set this time in Canada. As the credits rolled, I couldn't help but be disappointed. Angry even. If I wanted to watch Blair Witch, then I could have just looked it up online. This is the same issue I have had with the recent loosely adapted Faces of Death and They Will Kill You, films that play far too close to their influences to be original works and turn out to be more like fan fiction at worst and plagiarization at best. Many would like to blame Gen Z for this, but the directors of these films are actually in their early 30s at the least. That means it's time for my generation to step it up, because Generation Y is going out sad in the box office with films like Hunting Matthew Nichols, which serve as low-budget remakes of highly lauded cinema, because these wannabe millennial directors couldn't get the dough to legally access the rights to their favorite films, like the burnout Paul Rudd portrayed in last year's Anaconda, because millennials are broke as a joke. One lacking humor, unlike Paul Rudd's Costello to Jack Black's Abbott in the Brazilian rainforest.
Pop your popcorn. That's for the piggies in every US city thinking a seat in the back row is Porsche because of European history. They miss seeing the monocle though, so I be in the front row on days I'm making dough. All alone, in the zone, on the phone, until the trailers go off the screen, along with all those production companies that never did a thing for me.